A criminal logs into an account without guessing the password and without breaking multi-factor authentication. The username and password already leaked from another service, and the user reused them. Automated tools simply replay that known pair against other login pages. That is credential stuffing. In this CipherVibe lesson, we will distinguish credential stuffing from guessing attacks, run a fully local simulation with invented identities, and layer controls until the replay fails. No real credential, account, website, proxy, CAPTCHA, or external request is used. OWASP defines credential stuffing as mass login attempts used to verify stolen username and password pairs. The credentials came from somewhere else. The attacker tests whether the same pair works here. Unlike credential cracking, the values are not guessed or brute-forced. Credential stuffing replays many known username and password pairs. Password spraying tries one or a few common passwords across many accounts. Brute force makes many guesses against a target. These patterns overlap operationally, but the distinction matters because password reuse is the central weakness in stuffing. Most replayed pairs may fail because passwords changed, usernames differ, or the account never existed. But automation makes individual attempts cheap, and a small fraction of successful logins can still expose money, loyalty points, stored data, or trusted identities. Defenders must reason about scale, not just average success. Our safe lab contains 100 synthetic login events for a fictional service named accounts.demo.local. 3 invented pairs are marked as reused, and every outcome is predetermined. The simulator renders an in-memory event stream. It cannot import lists, contact a website, rotate infrastructure, or submit a login. The baseline event is a normal fictional sign-in. One account uses a familiar device and network context, then performs an expected action. The important point is not that each signal proves identity. Together, they form a coherent history that the service can compare with future events. The synthetic replay fans out across many accounts. The usernames differ, but request timing, client traits, and navigation behavior look unusually similar. Most attempts fail. That does not make the event harmless. The shared automation pattern can be visible before any successful account takeover is confirmed. Detection should combine per-account attempt history with device, client, network, and behavioral signals. A single IP address is not a person. Attackers can distribute traffic, while legitimate users may share corporate or carrier networks. Risk scoring needs multiple dimensions and carefully tuned thresholds. Teams often monitor failures and overlook the successful login that follows them. In the lab, a reused pair succeeds from a first-seen device after correlated failures against other accounts. The event becomes higher risk when it is followed by a password change, payout, recovery edit, or bulk data access. For users, the direct defense is a unique password for every service. A password manager makes that practical. If one service is breached, the exposed password does not unlock another. Change any known reused password everywhere it appears, starting with primary email, financial, and administrator accounts. NIST requires services to compare a prospective password against a block list of commonly used, expected, or compromised values when it is established or changed. This is not a reason to retain plaintext passwords. The check belongs inside a secure password setting flow with appropriate privacy and storage design. Rate limits are necessary, but one global threshold is not enough. Combine progressive throttling and bot controls across accounts, devices, clients, networks, and time windows. Avoid rigid responses that let an attacker lock out victims on demand. Challenges and step-up checks should follow risk and accessibility needs. Multi-factor authentication can stop a replayed password from becoming a session. Where supported, prefer phishing-resistant passkeys or security keys. But review account recovery and fallback methods as well. A strong primary sign-in can still be undermined by a weaker recovery path. Successful authentication is not the end of risk evaluation. Require fresh or stronger proof before changing recovery details, exporting data, adding payout methods, or performing other high-impact actions. Notify trusted channels, expose session history, and make rapid session revocation easy for users and responders. We rerun the exact predetermined event stream with layered controls. Cross-account correlation raises risk, progressive throttling slows the automation, and the reused password cannot create a session without phishing-resistant proof. A notification and review event are recorded without exposing whether a username exists. If credential stuffing succeeds, invalidate relevant sessions and reset compromised credentials. Review recovery methods, multi-factor enrollment, trusted devices, API tokens, forwarding rules, transactions, and administrative changes. Notify affected users with clear actions and investigate whether the same identity was abused elsewhere. Defenders can validate protections in an approved staging environment using only synthetic accounts and an invented corpus. Measure detection latency, throttling, challenge behavior, successful login alerts, session containment, and false positives. Establish authorization, rate ceilings, stop conditions, and evidence handling before the exercise. The key lesson is simple. Credential stuffing succeeds because a secret from one service still has value somewhere else. Use a password manager and unique passwords. Add strong multi-factor authentication or passkeys. For services, correlate automation, protect recovery, and scrutinize suspicious successful logins. Find the full defensive checklist on CipherVibe.